Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be looking at a motivational speech by Eddie Pinero.
Oh, yeah. I love Eddie Pinero.
And this is one that you sent to me, and I was
I did.
really impressed by some of the things he had to say.
Yeah, he's good.
And just his whole approach to this idea of like overcoming procrastination and really getting things done.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about him is that he goes beyond just like that kind of rah-rah motivational stuff.
Right.
You know, he kind of digs into the psychology behind why we get stuck.
Exactly. And one of the biggest things that I noticed that he tackles right off the bat is this idea of procrastination.
Yeah.
And like waiting for the perfect moment.
Yeah.
And he basically says, forget tomorrow.
He calls it fool's gold.
Yes.
Tomorrow is fool's gold.
I love that.
It's like, how many times do we get caught up in like, I'm going to do it, but I just got to get ready. I got to get ready to get ready. You know, and he's all about...
It's like that cycle of preparation that never actually leads to action.
Exactly. Yeah. And he wants to snap us out of that. And he's like, now.
Yes.
Right now is the time.
Right. And it's like, it makes you think about all those things that you're putting off. And it's like, well, why?
Exactly.
You know, it's like he uses that analogy of planting a tree.
Yes.
The best time was 20 years ago.
Yep.
The second best time is today. And it's like such a simple but powerful truth.
Yes.
Because the past is gone.
It's gone.
All we have is right now.
Right.
And so it's like, why wait?
Yeah, and that's where that idea of action as the antidote to regret comes in. You know, we can sit around and think about all the things that we should have done or could have done.
Right.
But Eddie's like, no, take that energy and channel it into actually doing something right now.
So what about those times when we're held back by self-doubt?
Oh, yeah.
Like that feeling of, I'm not good enough.
I'm not ready.
I'm not experienced enough.
Yeah.
I'm not whatever enough.
Except their excuse.
To even get started.
Yeah.
He tackles that too.
Oh, he does.
And I love this visual that he uses of the sunset.
Yeah.
Like the sunset doesn't care.
Doesn't care.
How old you are.
Nope.
How much experience you have. What your qualifications are.
It's just there.
It's just this beautiful canvas.
Yes.
Inviting you to create.
Exactly.
And so it's like...
Create something beautiful.
It's like everyone starts somewhere.
Sure.
You know, and I think that's such a powerful message because we get so caught up in that comparison game.
Yeah, the imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
It's a killer.
But what if we just focused on the act of creation?
Yes.
Just doing the thing.
Just start, get that first brushstroke down.
Even if it's messy.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You've started.
And he takes this even further.
He does.
With this really powerful metaphor of a bird shedding its cage.
Oh.
And I love that imagery.
It's so powerful.
Because it's like, it's that breaking free from all the limitations that we put on ourselves.
Those self-imposed cages.
Yeah. And it can be scary.
It is.
To step into that unknown.
Absolutely.
But think about the freedom that bird feels.
Oh, yeah.
When it finally takes flight.
Soaring.
So Eddie's not shying away from like...
No, he doesn't.
The harder parts of personal growth either.
The shadow side.
Yeah. He actually talks about dying.
Yeah.
In a metaphorical sense, of course.
Right.
And this idea that sometimes you have to let go of who you were to become who you're meant to be.
It's like a powerful concept.
And like he's challenging us to think differently about what's truly holding us back.
What if it's those comfortable parts of ourselves that we're clinging to that are actually killing us?
He has this one line that really got me.
Yeah.
He says, living is easy. It's my inability to die that kills me.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa.
It's deep.
It's like a punch to the gut.
It is.
But it's so true.
It's that fear of change.
Yes.
Even positive change.
It can be paralyzing.
Yeah, it makes me think about that idea of ego death. Where you gotta shed those old beliefs.
To make space for the new.
Exactly.
And so we've talked about embracing the now, using past experiences as fuel, tackling self-doubt, and even this metaphorical death and rebirth. But Eddie doesn't leave us hanging.
He doesn't.
He gives us the tools to actually make this happen.
The how-to guide.
Exactly.
I love that about him.
And one of the key things he emphasizes is small steps.
Yes.
You don't have to climb Mount Everest on day one.
You don't got to go from zero to here.
He tells this great story about meeting Evan Carmichael.
Oh, yeah.
Another YouTuber.
I know, Evan.
And how even just tiny tweaks to things like video titles had a huge impact.
Yeah, small changes. big results.
And that was like a light bulb moment for Eddie. It was because he realized that small, consistent improvements can be so much more effective
than trying to do it all at once.
Than trying to reinvent the wheel every time.
Exactly.
So it's like, what if instead of getting overwhelmed by this huge goal, you just focused on one tiny step
right now that you can take today?
It's so easy to get caught up in that all or nothing thinking.
Right.
But it's those little things that compound over time.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect to run a marathon without training.
No.
You gotta train.
So big goals are really just a collection of smaller steps.
Exactly.
And he also has this interesting take on challenge and even hardship as being essential for growth.
I like that.
He uses that saying, hard times create strong men.
Yeah.
And he applies it not just to societies, but to each of us individually.
That's good.
It's like sometimes we need to push ourselves
out of that comfort zone.
Yeah, it's so easy to get complacent. It's when things are smooth sailing.
But those tough times, that's where the real growth is.
You build resilience.
Yeah.
You learn the most.
Absolutely.
So it's not about seeking out suffering.
Right. It's not about being a martyr.
It's about understanding that challenges are part of the journey.
Part of the process.
And by embracing them, we can actually unlock
your potential.
Our true potential.
Right.
And what's cool is how he connects this to reframing our perspective.
Yeah.
He uses this analogy of feeling the rain versus just getting wet.
I like this.
It's the same rain.
It is.
But our perception of it, whether we see it as annoying or
like
fresh,
changes the experience.
Totally changes the experience.
Yeah.
And it's like we have so much more control.
We do.
Over our thoughts and beliefs than we realize.
I think we give ourselves credit for.
We can choose to focus on the negative, or we can actively look for the opportunity in every situation.
And that brings us to one of Eddie's most practical suggestions. Gratitude.
Yeah.
He's big on gratitude.
He talks about making it a habit.
Yes.
To reflect on things you're grateful for.
In the morning and at night?
Yeah, morning and night.
Like bookends your day.
And it's so simple.
It is.
But there's a ton of research showing that gratitude can actually
boost your well-being.
Boost your well-being. Reduce stress.
Reduce stress. Improve your physical health.
Even improve your physical health.
It's amazing.
It's like training your brain.
Yes.
To focus on the positive. Even when things are tough.
Yeah. And when you shift to that perspective of abundance and appreciation, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
It does. And we're going to dive deeper into that in the next part of our deep dive. So stay tuned.
You know, one thing I really appreciate about Eddie's approach is he doesn't just like throw these big ideas at you. He actually gives you tools. Like real practical tools to apply them to your life.
Yeah, he bridges that gap between like the inspiration and the actual application.
Exactly.
Which I think can be hard with motivational stuff.
It can be so hard, like you get all fired up and then you're like, okay, now what?
Right, exactly. So one of the tools he gives is this really simple framework for making decisions, especially when you're facing a risk or thinking about doing something new.
Right.
And it's so simple. It's almost like deceptively brilliant.
What is it?
It's a classic pros and cons list.
Oh, yeah.
But he really breaks it down.
Okay.
In a way that I think is really powerful.
So, like, how does he do it?
Well, he basically says, look, when you're facing a decision, especially if it involves some risk, write down all the potential benefits.
Okay, the pros.
The pros, right? And then write down all the potential downsides.
The cons.
And it forces you to get real with yourself.
Yeah.
About what you're actually afraid of.
Confront those fears.
Yeah, and often when you actually write it down, it's not as scary as it seems in your head.
Right, you build it up in your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he argues that in most cases, the downsides of taking a risk are pretty minor.
Okay.
And often reversible.
You can always course correct.
Yeah, you can always adjust. You can learn from it and try again.
Okay, so the risks are manageable.
Yeah, it's like taking a wrong turn on a road trip.
Yeah.
You might end up somewhere unexpected.
Right.
But you can always turn around.
Get back on track.
And get back on track.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world.
It's not a dead end.
Exactly.
I like that.
And then he contrasts that with a potential upside, which is like incredible experiences, personal growth, achieving things you never thought possible.
So the upside has huge potential.
Yeah. And suddenly, the risk seems a lot more worthwhile.
It does, because even if you don't hit the exact target,
Right.
you're still going to grow from the experience.
Yeah, the act of trying, of pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone.
That's where the magic happens.
That's where the real growth happens.
I like that.
And that's what he emphasizes over and over again.
What's that?
Is this idea of personal agency.
Okay.
Like, we are not just victims
Right.
of our circumstances.
We have a choice.
We have the power to make choices, to take action, to create the future we want.
We're not just along for the ride.
Exactly. And he really challenges us to step out of that why me mentality and realize that we have way more control than we often give ourselves credit for.
We do.
Now, you can't always control what happens to you,
Right?
but you can always control
How you respond.
how you respond.
That's key.
Yeah.
Love it.
And he uses this great analogy of like green lighting your own idea.
Like a filmmaker pitching a movie.
You could spend years waiting for someone
Waiting for the studio
to give you permission,
to give you the green light.
or you could just green light yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do it yourself.
Believe in your vision.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
Start creating.
Start creating.
I love it.
It's about taking ownership, not waiting for external validation.
Right.
But trusting your own instincts and making things happen.
Love that.
And it's not about having everything figured out perfectly.
See.
Beforehand,
Yeah.
he acknowledges there will be bumps in the road,
Setbacks. Doubts.
moments of doubt,
Yeah.
but he sees those as opportunities
Okay.
to build resilience, to learn,
Get stronger.
to become even stronger.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying,
Okay.
the bumps are inevitable,
They are.
but they don't have to derail you.
You just gotta adjust.
You can swerve,
Keep moving.
adjust, and keep moving forward.
I like that.
And he talks about how everything starts with could, that tiny seed of possibility. What if you could achieve that goal? Write that book, start that business.
Right.
It's about shifting your perspective from I can't
To what if I could?
to what if I could.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have all the answers right now, that simple shift can unlock so much potential.
It can.
And you know what? Sometimes the most exciting discoveries happen when you don't have
You don't have a map.
a perfectly mapped out plan.
You just gotta start walking.
He uses this analogy of like setting sail
Yeah.
without a destination.
Oh, I like that.
It's about trusting.
Trusting the wind.
Yeah.
Trusting the journey.
Trusting that the wind will guide you,
Yeah.
that the journey itself will reveal the way.
And you might end up somewhere even better
Exactly.
than you could have imagined.
It's about letting go of that need to control every detail and embracing the adventure.
The uncertainty.
The uncertainty.
The possibility.
Yeah, the possibility that something even more amazing
Yeah.
might be waiting around the corner.
Right.
So it's like you don't always need
You don't need to know.
to know the destination
Oh,
before you start the journey.
it's a star.
Start.
Love it.
Okay, so we're back for the last part of our Eddie Pinheiro deep dive.
Right.
And I'm excited about this last piece
Yeah.
because it kind of brings everything together.
Okay.
It's really all about this idea of personal agency,
Yeah.
this deep down belief that you have the power
You do.
to shape your own life.
To write your own story.
Yeah, and Eddie talks about how easy it is to fall into this trap.
And what trap?
Of like, why me?
Right.
Feeling like you're at the mercy of circumstances or other people.
Yeah.
Like things are just happening to you.
Happening to you.
But he really challenges us to reject that.
To take control.
Yeah, to step into a place of ownership.
Yes.
Like you are not a passive observer in your own life.
You have a say.
And he reminds us that even when things feel totally out of control, you always have the power to choose how you respond.
That's powerful.
He has this great line.
What is it?
He says, stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to live your life.
Oh, I like that.
And it's so true. It's like we're all standing around waiting
Waiting to be picked.
for someone to pick us for the team.
Yeah.
Instead of realizing like we can create our own game.
We can make our own team.
And it kind of goes back to his analogy of greenlighting your own ideas.
Right.
Imagine you're a filmmaker.
Okay.
You have this amazing movie concept.
Got the script ready?
You can spend your whole life
Your whole life.
waiting for some studio executive to give you the green light.
To give you the money.
Or you could just say,
You know what? Forget it.
I'm doing this.
I believe in this.
I'm starting to film.
It's about backing yourself.
Yeah.
Trusting your gut.
Trusting your vision.
Yeah.
And taking action.
Even when it's scary.
Because it's going to be scary.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be fear.
And he doesn't sugarcoat that.
No, he keeps it real.
He knows there's going to be obstacles. Setbacks, moments of doubt.
Doubt is going to creep in.
But he encourages us to see those as opportunities.
Oh, okay.
To learn to become more resilient.
It's part of the process.
Yeah, like the bumps in the road are inevitable.
They are.
But they don't have to derail you.
You just got to swerve.
Yeah, you can adjust.
But
keep moving forward.
So move it.
And it all starts with that little seed of possibility.
What's that?
That could mindset.
Good.
What if you could achieve that goal?
Yeah.
Write that book.
Start that business.
It's about shifting from I can't
to what if I could.
To what if I could.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have all the answers right now, that shift in perspective can be so powerful.
It can unlock so much.
And sometimes
what?
The most exciting discoveries happen when you don't have
the plan.
A perfectly mapped out plan.
You just got to start walking.
He uses this analogy of like setting sail without a destination.
Oh, I love that one.
It's about trusting that the wind will guide you.
Trusting the journey.
That the journey itself will reveal the way.
And who knows, you might end up somewhere even better.
Exactly.
Than you could have planned.
It's about letting go of that need
to
control every little detail.
Right.
And just embracing the adventure.
The unknown.
The uncertainty.
The possibility.
The possibility that something even more amazing is waiting around the corner.
Right.
So as we wrap up our Eddie Pinheiro deep dive,
I
just want to leave you with this.
Okay.
You are not a passive observer in your own life.
No.
You are the author.
Yeah.
The creator.
The one holding the pen?
You have the power to write your own story. Even if you're starting with a blank page.
And even if you don't know the ending.
And even if you don't know how it's going to end.
The journey is the thing.
The journey is where the magic happens.
I love that.
So take that first step.
Yeah.
Embrace the power of now.
Right now.
And start creating the life you want.
Who knows what you'll discover?
Who knows what adventures await?